In this recording, I'd like to show you how you can use AI to create more accurate and complete set of acceptance criteria for user stories. Let's look at this user story here. As a user, I want to be able to add functional components to my project. This user story does not have any acceptance criteria at this point. However, it does have 17 scenarios, and those scenarios were also created using AI. There is another recording you might want to listen to on how to use AI to perfect user stories through scenarios. For now, let's just focus on acceptance criteria. Let me go here and ask my AI assistant to generate acceptance criteria. The response says it doesn't really make sense to create acceptance criteria unless we provide a description. So, let's give a description here and save. Now, let's go back and say, give me some acceptance criteria. The response back is different now. It says I could possibly create some acceptance criteria, but they will not be complete. Now I have the option either to go back and add more details to the description or allow the AI assistant to ask some clarifying questions to derive more details. Or, if I want to, I can just go ahead and create a set of acceptance criteria, even if they would not be complete. Let's use this option, Generate Clarifying Questions. This is the kind of thing that should always happen between developers, QA, and product owners. When you get a user story, before you even try to create any acceptance criteria or do anything with it, you need to ask some questions. And those questions should go back to the product owner or the business analyst or whoever wrote the user story to answer them. Let's look at the questions. First question: what specific types of functional components are intended to be defined by the project manager? Let me just say, functional components describing specific functions. I'm just providing some answers here. Are there any constraints on the length? Let me say no. Should there be any validation rules for naming functional components? I'll say no, just for now. I'm going to stop here. Remember, how many questions do I have here? 17 questions. The more questions the product owner can answer, the more information the AI assistant will have, and the more complete and more accurate the acceptance criteria will be. Okay, let's save my answers. Now, since I answered few questions, the AI assistant can ask some follow-up questions based on the answers I provided. So, let me do that here. Generate follow-up questions. Let's now see what kind of questions we will get. Remember, I only answered few questions out of the 17 questions. Now, based on my answer to question number 1, we got 15 follow-up questions. For my answer to question 2, the AI assistant is now asking 15 other follow-up questions. So what's happening here is that the AI assistant is playing the role of QA or the developers who are reading a user story and posing some clarifying questions the product owner or the business analyst who wrote the user story. Once product owner answers some questions, the AI assistant may go back and ask more follow-up questions. This is really what should be happening during our user story review process. Now, I can either go ahead and answer some of those follow-up questions and perhaps go back and answer some of the original clarifying questions, or just ask the AI assistant to generate acceptance criteria based on the information it got so far. Let me do that and see how many acceptance criteria it is going to give me. Based on the answer we gave, it gives me only 7 acceptance criteria. And again it says, if you provide more answers to some of the questions, I can provide more acceptance criteria. Now I can either view the generated acceptance criteria or go back and answer more questions. Let's just look at the acceptance criteria. As you can see, for each acceptance criteria, you can document whether it has been tested or not and whether it has passed or failed. As we said, if you need more acceptance criteria, you can go back and answer more questions. Or you can add your own acceptance criteria as well if you think the AI assistant ignored them. The process can continue until you are satisfied with the acceptance criteria or until there are no more questions left that need to be answered.
We invite you to experience the full power of iALM.ai in your projects. The Ultimate package, including every platform component, is available free for 1 year for teams of up to 10 members. Complimentary online technical support is included. Visit iALM.ai to get started.